Hello everybody. I think it's time to start our session today. Just want to make sure if everyone is hearing us all right. So just put some emoji or raise a hand if everything is okay, and then we can start on. Perfect. Maybe then in that case, let's start. So again, hello everybody. Welcome to our first ever series of sales tax office hours. So we are so glad you could join us today. So thank you everybody who is being here today. So before we jump in, let's cover a few quick housekeeping things. So we got 30 minutes together to talk about sales tax. So if you've been wondering about anything tax related, so you're in the right place. So keep things flowing. Please remember to mute your microphone wherever you're not speaking, but feel free to have your cameras on for more lively discussion and making more fun. You know, you met here to discuss about things and so ever, so let's make it fun. And if a question pops up as we go, feel free to drop in a chat anytime. Or if you like to ask anything live, whether it's a follow-up or a question altogether, just raise your hand. So now, before we dive in today's question, I'd like to introduce our fantastic guest today. So joining us are Ruta from One-Stop VAT and Diana from Quaderno. So they both are absolute pros when it comes to VAT, sales tax, and navigating those tricky compliance question that comes to for business. So they're here to share their best insights and advice with all of you. So, Diana and Ruta, maybe you would like to say a few words about yourselves.
Thank you
Yes,
very much. Oh,
hello.
sorry. Ruta. Go ahead, Ruta. You want to go first?
Yes, maybe I can start. Nice to meet you all. I'm Ruta Shvabiena from company One Stop VAT. I am head of indirect taxes in the company. Currently, I'm in indirect taxes field about 5 years. My main focus is on the e-commerce businesses, especially on those who do sales of digital products and physical products that are sold online or via own websites or via marketplaces all over the world. Our company actually is dealing with global compliance questions. So it means that One-Stop VAT can help with the compliance in any country in the world. So let's say it covers US, Canada, or Europe, or anywhere our clients has needs. So this is the very basic of myself and One-Stop VAT.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ruta. Very happy to be here together with you and our great host and everybody on the call. My name is Diana Carrasco. I work for Quaderno. It's been a couple of years as well. We are really focused on providing the technology that can help you automate your tax compliance journey, and together we want to stop VAT to make sure that we empower you guys to go ahead and start your business and, don't be scared or paralyzed or burdened because of the tax compliance part. I've talked to so many of you and many others over the years about your businesses and taxes, and we realize again and again that there are many, many questions. So I'm very happy to be trying these formats where we can talk all together, and I'm sure that you will benefit not only from whatever expertise or experiences I can share and Ruta, but you will love listening to each other. We always find that the community part is best, and you realize you're not alone and you learn from each other as well. So I hope this one is the first one of many. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here.
So thank you, Ruta and Diana, for introducing yourself. So I see already that it can be a really, really nice discussion here because you both know their own fields very much. So maybe before, not going much into the details, let's start with the questions. So, first of all, thanks for everyone who is sending questions ahead of time. We got some great topics to kick things off. And as we go along, feel free to ask any follow-up thoughts or new question that comes to mind. This session, is meant to be relaxed and open, so don't hold back. And yeah, as the Diana and Ruta said, is all about you and about people who are interested in your taxes. So please don't be shy. No question is too simple or too complex. And we love to hear from you, whether you want to speak up or just type into the chat and we can discuss about it. So, all right, then let's get started. I will kick things off with the questions we received ahead of time, and then I will invite Ruta and Diana to jump into their thoughts. So, let's go to the first question. Sorry. So, the first question is tax on digital courses are community memberships or taxed? So, Ruta or Diana, what are your thoughts about this?
So maybe I can start with that question, as it is about taxability. So, of course, in general, in order to answer any question about taxability, it is mandatory to understand, what we are talking about. If it is the relationship B2B, if it is B2B sales, about which region we are talking about. Is it Europe? Is it US or any other area? As most probably, I guess, all of you know, that the regulation differs from country to country. But if, let's say, we will take like general approach, so if it is online sold live courses to physical person in any country in the world, the taxability is where the supplier is established. So let's say if we take an example, Germany established company sells online live digital courses to individual people anywhere in the world. So all these courses should be taxed with the German VAT. If, let's say, the seller will be from California, US, so it means that we have to have a look what are the ruling in California, and it will be that all the sales will be charged with no tax at all, as in California, services are not taxable. If we have such a situation, as from the question, actually, it's not really clear if it is a payment for the courses and together the a person receives a possibility to join community forums, knowledge bases, and etc. Actually, the seller should decide and evaluate what product is actually sold to the client. If it is courses, the prices for courses actually mainly, or for the accessibility to knowledge base or to forums. So if it is a decision that the courses are not the main product, but the ability to access the knowledge base and any other information. So this product will be treated as electronically supplied service. So then it will be taxed in the country where the customer is. So all in all, to understand, there will be needed more details to provide with proper answer. But I really hope that at least part of the details are clear how this works.
Okay, then I see there's some questions, but maybe we can answer it a bit later. So yeah, thank you, Ruta, for this answer. So maybe let's go to the other one. So the other one is I am interested in getting it right before I start selling via Kayabi. What do I need to think about to integrate with Kayabi, and what is the difference in working directly with you with using Kayabi payments? I live in Sweden and I will be selling both in the US and Europe initially. So Ruta or Diana, maybe someone can answer?
Yes, of course, I will take this one. Let me start by saying that we are very lucky now because in the past we only had one way to integrate with Kajabi. And now we are very lucky to have two options because Kajabi became a strategic partner of us and they have integrated Quaderno directly, right? So we need to look at what is the correct answer case by case. But the idea is that if you're mainly going to be selling in Kajabi, we recommend that you use the integration that Kajabi has developed with Quaderno, right? And that one is when you use Kajabi payments. They have done that beautifully. So you just need to create your Kajabi account, activate Kajabi payments, enable the interaction with the integration with Quaderno. Everything starts flowing with Quaderno and is working beautifully. When would I consider going to the direct integration that we used to have and we still have, if you want to sell as well outside of Kajabi, right? Because if you use the integration with Kajabi, it's only going to be for Kajabi, and you may want to sell your content or other items through other web shops or through other platforms. And in that case, you will be limited if you just go for the Kajabi integration. So if you go with the Quaderno one, you could use that Quaderno account with Kajabi. You could use it in other platforms. You could use it for raising invoices offline. You could use it for many other things. And besides, I believe at the moment, Kajabi payments is only, and Quaderno is only available in the US, in the UK, and is currently being rolled out in Europe, right? So I'm not sure if it's already available in Sweden. So I would recommend to look at all those things, and there you go. Both solutions work beautifully.
Thank you for your answer. And also see that Janie replied for this question a bit more. So I'm not
Not
sure did you answer or
Yeah,
no, but
yeah. So maybe let me elaborate a bit. Thank you,
yeah.
Yanni, for following up so quickly. Yes, Kajabi Payments will be able to calculate the taxes correctly everywhere, right? So they have done really beautiful work there. Do not worry about that. And in terms of online coaching, is that similar to a membership? Then maybe I will give that one to Ruta. So I think, Ruta, your first reply was a hit. And we already have follow-ups. I don't know if you want to elaborate a bit more on that one. So Gianni is asking if online coaching is similar to the discussion we had on membership. Yeah. So before we go to Ruta, I see you continue writing, Gianni. Yeah, sure. If it's not rolled out in Sweden yet, I will advise contact Kajabi. You will get a timeline or the roadmap update from them. And if not, just contact us directly, of course, at support@quaderno.io. And let me see if Ruta wants to take your question now or we do it at the end.
Well, currently, as these questions were quite close to each other, so just quickly to mention, so if the online courses are recorded, so it will be taxed the same way if as well how it is taxed the membership payments. But if the online courses are live, so it means that the tutor is like now we are having live session, yeah. So in that situation, such courses will not be treated as like digital product, a digital service, let's say like this. So it means that the taxability will differ. So that's why it is quite important to determine what type of courses it will be. And if, let's say, there is one payment for membership and to attend the courses, which is the main part of your product. I hope this helps. In case not, so then I can maybe add something extra. I think, Avidia, we can move on.
Yeah, I think so. So, okay, let's dive into the other question. So the other question is from Marco. He's asking that we are looking for a more cost-effective way to handle VAT compliance in the EU, specifically through the VAT one-stop shop scheme for your local business located in California. Currently, we're working with the Italian CPA to manage VAT payments and filings for online courses sold in Europe, but the costs are high. We are also using Quaderno to track sales. Do you have any advice or recommendations for a more cost-effective way to handle VAT?
Well, first of all, I guess it's nice to hear that already Marco is using Quaderno. I really hope that everything works perfect, so you can already detect how much taxes you have to collect, and you are collecting taxes, yes, and how much you have to report. So part of the job is already done. So yes, of course, one-stop VAT can cover OSS and the European compliance. Currently, if I understand from the question, of course, it is quite interesting why it was decided to do the registration in Italy. Because the region is not the English-speaking region, and most of our clients, and of course our recommendations as one-stop VAT for OSS registrations for digital sellers who are not established in European Union to do the registrations, let's say in Ireland, then it is for our clients, it is user-friendly to provide, let's say, submitted returns as everything is in English. So, of course, but this is the decision of the seller. But if we talk about prices, so definitely once the VAT is flexible, definitely the main point of our company is that each of the client has the like manager who deals with each and every case separately and understands everything what's happening with that client if there are any questions. And anyways, before any new registrations, we can always, discuss together to decide, let's say, how properly and how better to do the registration. So I'm not sure if in that case, maybe it would be easier for that seller to do the registration and filing in Ireland than in Italy. So of course this as well depends to the price because in some countries it is mandatory to have like local representative and that increases the prices. In another countries the local representatives are not needed, so of course then the price can be more user friendly. So anyways, in that area once the VT can help you. So in case you are interested to discuss with us about the pricing and how it works, so always reach out to us and we can discuss your situation.
Perfect. Thank you for your answer, Ruta. So I see there is no comment so far after this one. So let's go to the other one. So there is a question from Greg, and he's asking, is there a way to offload filling, remitting, and registrations where I surpass thresholds?
Maybe if that's okay, Ruta, I'll take this one. So this is the $1,000,000 question. If I had $1 for every time I got it, I will be rich. So absolutely right. I mean, the moment you have Quaderno on, as we have discussed, there are certain jurisdictions where it may be really easy with the reports we produce. And for everything else, you have one-stop VAT. Is super integrated now. So when you go and set up our system and the collaboration with them, they get an account on our Quaderno platform, right? As accountant, they can access the data directly. You guys can work on the flow to see how and when you're going to interact, and they can take care of doing filing, doing remitting, and registrations where needed, right? So keep in mind, registrations is one time per jurisdiction, and then you forget about it. So it's more the filing and remitting that will keep coming. But we are really super integrated to make sure that you can forget about it, right? First times you check to make sure everything works as you expect, and then you forget about it, and it's really quite easy. Maybe, I don't know, Ruta, if you want to add something, because I see we are a bit short in time. I'm so happy there are so many questions.
Yeah, so maybe if Greg will have anything additional to add, so I can add, but I guess let's move forward as I guess we have quite a lot of questions more.
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, Greg, if you have some more questions after that, you can ask in live or so ever. And now let's dive further. There is a question from Liz, and she's asking, is there are plans for a worldwide version of the OS scheme?
Well, it will be good, I guess, and all of the sellers would be glad to see such a thing. But unfortunately, I don't think that this could ever happen. Let's say to be compliant all over the world with only one registration. I guess it is not possible. But I guess more and more countries are implementing, of course, these simplified regulations for non-resident sellers, especially for those who do sales of digital products and digital services. So European Union, yes, we have that scheme OSS that covers all the European Union countries. But let's say if we have a look to Australia or I don't know, New Zealand or Singapore, these countries have simplified registrations that helps the sellers, to be more just easier to be compliant, because these companies will not have any, reclaimable amounts. So the countries are, implementing the system specifically for non-resident companies in order just to submit the returns with the payable amounts. Of course, it will be good as well to have one unified system, let's say in US or in Canada, to do registrations and filings of the returns. But unfortunately, it is not happening. Well, at least in US, what is possible to do? There are, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, 24 countries, states, sorry, covered by a unified registration process, but after the registration, the compliance should be done with each and every state. So to answer shortly, there will be, I guess, no possibility ever to have like a global unified scheme for tax compliance.
Ruta, I see that the Liz also commented a bit more regarding this question, so maybe I'm gonna read it. It's the question, wait, is it possible to get a quote for the service once you breach a threshold? When we last obtained a quote, it was definitely uneconomic. And also, is there a list of the countries with this simplified registration?
Of course, once we are starting, cooperation with our clients, so definitely we are providing such information. Let's say, okay, let's say if at least the companies are dealing with Quaderno and with One Stop VAT, so Quaderno indicates the countries where the threshold is reached. So we can, from that list, we can indicate, which countries are the ones where it is possible to do that simplified registration. So it means that the process will be quite, quick. Of course, to identify the countries where the registration process will be complicated. Let's say if we take Latin America, that a lot of documents will be needed, and in order to understand that the registration will not be in a week, that it will take a month, two, or maybe more. So of course, that information is provided from us. And the quote, of course, so definitely we are providing our clients with the quotes and the fees as well. It depends, for the clients. If let's say the client comes to One Stop VAT with a huge package of registrations and filing services, so definitely the prices are different for such clients. They are more, attractive to the companies that comes with the full package for VAT compliance.
So yeah, I think you answered the question. Liz, did you get all the information is needed? Maybe you can raise a hand or something. Yes, thank you. Perfect. So let's go to the other question. There's the question from Alan. He's saying, I am selling memberships for stock analysis reports, like newspaper-like services. Quaderno shows me that I should pay taxes in the UK. However, having gone through the HMRC not so under-friendly page, I have come to the conclusion that my service is zero rated in the UK, hence without the need to register for VAT. I'm based in Germany and register here domestically. Is that true?
Maybe Diana can explain about Quaderno, why it shows so. I have, I guess, the answer,
Exactly.
so maybe you can start and then I will continue about taxability.
Yes, yes, exactly, Alan. Thank you so much for this question because it's something that we always like to explain. Quaderno always goes for the most conservative approach, and while we really try to filter now to make sure that we tailor more to what you are selling, but taxes are not like mathematics or engineering, right? So once you get these pop-ups from Quaderno, the next thing you need to do is go deeper on your personal case, right? Because as Ruta will explain, there are a lot of things that need to be considered, a lot of little details that are going to be different from one situation to another. So we always say that our pop-up turnover threshold report is not written in stone, is something that is an indication that you need to look into it because it's very likely that you have acquired that threshold, right? But then there are many exceptions, there are many different rules, and then the next thing you need to do is to check either with your accountant or now with Ruta that will explain more. They're very happy to look at your case together, and of course we always advise talking to your accountant as well to make sure if you really need to go ahead, but you guys shouldn't jump straight away into it, right? That's the philosophy of it. And now maybe Ruta can explain a bit more about your case. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ruta.
so yes, so as Diana mentioned, so it is good to know, let's say, to have like pop-up look that you might have some, tax obligations, and of course it is mandatory, and important to on timely basis to indicate such cases if the seller has to do some actions in order to be registered or anything else. So in such a situation that is described, it is, not so easy to say that yes, of course you are right. First of all, it is necessary to understand and to see what exactly is the product. But let's say, as the Alan has already, I see, done all the analysis and investigation. So if, according to all the details, you found out and came into conclusion that your product should be treated as electronic publication or publication in general. So yes, in UK it is taxed with the zero rated VAT, but it means that the product is still taxable. So what does it mean for you as a seller? So you still have an obligation to be registered in UK, as there is no registration thresholds for non-resident companies in UK, and you there have to report only net values because your product is taxed it with zero rated VAT. So I guess Quaderno will as well show you proper applicability of the rate if you will choose proper product type. So this is how it works. So first of all, you have an indication that look, you might have some, liabilities in UK, but then in order to start proper taxation on your product, you do the registration and then choose proper product type on Quaderno in order the proper tax rate to be applied on the sales. I'm not mistaken, Diana, yeah?
You are totally perfect, Ruta, and we can handle that configuration in Quaderno as well, right? So you just add your registration in the UK, then you tell us, you take your product and you assign the tax class exempt, and there you go. It's gonna work beautifully. So now maybe we gave you some peace of mind, Alan. I hope so.
So yeah, Alan is saying thank you, and he really likes the Ruta's accent. So okay, let's go to the other question. So there is a question from Sarah. She's asking, how can a small business who sells digital products in very low volumes, but to a worldwide customer base, uphold their obligations from a tax perspective? The commercial cost of registering and paying taxes across each international jurisdiction is prohibitive when there are maybe one or two sales in each country. Are there any current or upcoming solutions to this? Are there plans for a worldwide version of the iOS scheme? Thank you.
So maybe I can take over, and I guess Diana as well may continue. Uh, in this situation, yes, I totally understand your case. As actually, it is quite common that we receive such questions that the business just launched or the product, itself is just in a primary stage, and the sales are not huge. But as it is digital product, the sellers decide to do the sales all over the world at once, not to focus on one region. So the recommendation, I guess, from One Stop VT part would be like this. As a lot of countries actually have thresholds, registration thresholds, when the non-resident seller has to start VAT registration and to start collecting VAT on the sales. So it means that if you are for sure small business, so it means that you will not reach these thresholds. So our recommendation is always to track the thresholds, how much sales you are doing in each and every country. You can, for that purpose, you can use Quaderno. This product gives such opportunity. If not, so then you can, of course, do it on your own, or maybe, I don't know, you can request for One Stop VT to do it, or to indicate you at least theoretical indications, what are the thresholds, and you will do your calculations on your own in order to understand if you are reaching a thresholds in any of these countries. Of course, from the question, I understand that the seller already knows that there are countries that have zero threshold. So it means that from the very first sale, seller has to be registered as the VAT payer in that country. So of course, in order to be, compliant and to meet all the tax regulations, it means yes, despite the fact that you have made two sales, which value is, I don't know, $20, you have to be registered in that country and to start, collecting taxes on these three sales in a year. So our maybe advice from our side is to detect such countries where you are not, doing sales, doing enough sales, or at least while your product is not yet very popular, just to eliminate these zero threshold countries from your sales list. So this would help you and prevent you from any, problems that you are doing sales, but you are not doing registrations. Because, as a seller, you have to meet the rules and the regulations, and all the countries are tracking the thresholds and not the threshold, but the sales of the digital sellers. And one or another country, despite the fact that there is really low amount of sales, still are contacting the sellers and asking to do the registration and to be compliant. Otherwise, the penalties will be applied. So I
Diana,
guess
maybe
this is
you
it.
have to add something to this question, or we can go further to the other one. Okay, maybe. Oh.
Everybody okay as well to stay a bit longer? Because I think we went over the time. What do you think?
So let's move on.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So yeah, no, I think Ruta replied beautifully. I just wanted to say that I see the Quaderno Kayabi questions keep coming. So I thought maybe I could comment on that one, or you prefer to continue with the ones we have on the list, Ovidia?
Maybe first of all, let's go with the ones on the list, and then maybe let's make a live discussion with the people, because I see there is already a lot of comments, and it's kind of hard to, and it's
Please,
easy to get
agree.
lost. So yeah, let's first go through all the questions who people did priority to that, and then let's have a fun discussion out of it.
Perfect.
Okay, so there is a question from Ashley, and she's saying that she's based in Northern Ireland. And if a client who lives in Northern Ireland sells goods online to customers in the EU, how do they account for VAT?
Yes, so well, currently it is good to know that Northern Ireland is still treated as the part of European Union. So it means that if it is online sales of physical products or digital products to final customers in European Union. So it means that this type of seller can do the registration in OSS system and to like to be compliant by submitting one quarterly OSS return to report all the VAT collected from the sales to European Union. So this is the solution that definitely I would recommend to do. So I guess we can move forward as actually it
Yeah.
is quite straightforward question.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, there is the question from Ander, and he's saying that we use a Quaderno to charge taxes in the US, and we want to know more about how US tax laws work and what do we need to comply with.
Well, US, yes, I guess it's the really common, question because US is totally different from any other country in the world. I guess about the whole tax system, and let's say for us Europeans especially, it is quite difficult to understand how it works as each state has to be treated, let's say, as a different country, as a different state has a different regulation. So in case, I don't know, Andrew has, as I understand, also, already is connected with Quaderno. So let's say if we as a one-stop VAT will understand what is the product, what is the issues, if the thresholds are reached, or currently already you started your sales, but you do not know what you will have to do further. So let's connect, and we definitely can provide you with advice what to do, how to be prepared to be compliant in US, as it is some like details that you definitely have to know and to prepare to be compliant. Well, let's say you have to know that you will have to have a US bank account in order to make taxes in US. So in all the questions, we definitely can respond you, and we do not really recommend you to go on your own if you're not tax expert to try to find out the rulings because it is really difficult, and you cannot, let's say, treat one rule that it's applicable, let's say, in Maryland. It will not be the same in California or in Illinois. So if you have any questions, so definitely let's connect and discuss your case, and then we can guide you through the process.
Perfect. Thank you for your answer, Ruta. So let's go to the question of Scott. He's saying that we have been able to determine with a high level of confidence in which USA states we have economic nexus. However, trying to determine that for international VATs has proven quite elusive because of it, or at least seems very difficult to obtain clear-cut documentation or the thresholds that apply and the products that qualified. What is the best practice for making those determinations for VAT compliance?
So to be short, I guess question relates to the previous question. It is not about US, about different countries. So my and of course One-Stop VAT and any other tax advisor's advice in such situation will be not to try to understand all the countries on your own. Just reach out to the professionals in order to guide you through the process, to indicate you where are the biggest triggers, what are the risks. So in case you have your situation, so let's discuss, let's connect, and we can determine, let's say, in which countries you have to have a look and what is the situation in one or another country. Because it is, I guess, impossible not being a professional, not living in that field, day to day, because the legislations are changing actually quite frequently. So I really recommend you to connect, let's say, with us or with any other advisor, and to discuss about your situation, because there will be no one rule in order to understand global VAT compliance. So that's why, there is One-Stop VAT and Quaderno. Otherwise, there will be no need for us.
I don't know if you have seen, ladies, there is this question from Scott, who is asking repeatedly. I don't know if we have time to quickly cover that, but if not, Scott, don't worry, we will answer by email to everyone, right? I think we are not going to have enough time to go through all the questions because they keep coming. That's great. But I just wanted to reassure everyone, if we cannot answer online, we will send an email, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. With any questions coming to the chat and we don't have time, it will be replied for everybody. So okay, let's go to the question from Sonia. Maybe Diana, you can go with this one. My Spanish is not that great, so
Absolutely, absolutely. So Sonia is asking us if we can also automate those payments, well, those invoices that are paid with credit card and with bank, and sending the invoices to the bank the same way that we do with PayPal. And then she's also asking about payments in dollars that are then transformed to euros, and then it doesn't fit with what she sees on the bank. How does this work? So I just wanted to mention that, look, Quaderno is able to automate more and more all these things. So what we see in businesses is that if you want to offer payment by credit card, what people will do is choose solutions where Quaderno has already an integration. So you can let your customers pay with credit card through the PayPal platform, the Stripe platform, the Square platform, right, which is even available face to face. And then for sending invoices to the bank, we have an integration with Go Cardless that works beautifully. So you set up the mandate in Go Cardless, and then you can start invoicing your customers monthly, recurrently, and that will flow to Quaderno. Quaderno will be able to generate the invoice and mail it to the customer with the correct VAT on it. In terms of dollars and euros, Quaderno has different options for that because you can have your default currency, your accounting currency, and we offer all kind of reports where you can always see per country in the original currency. So I encourage you to go and do a trial, get your trial account in Quaderno. You can have it for 7 days. And I will throw this in here. When you are on the Quaderno trial, you have all the functionality available and you can access our support department. So that's the right time to ask, right? You can get an account, play around, email support at quaderno.io for any question, and then you'll see in action how easy it is. Thank you, Sonia. Love to see a question in Spanish.
okay, let's go to the other one. So there is a question from Martin. He asks, how does it work in general for services? Not sure how it needs to be reported by state, when yes, when not, and the other questions.
Uh, so if we are talking about the services like general understanding of the services, and if we talk about US, as I understand from the question, the state is mentioned. So in most of the cases, services in general are not taxable in most of the states. Only few states have implemented regulations that services are taxable. So in order to understand, your question and to guide you through the process, so first of all, it will be good to understand what type of services we are talking about and to which states you are doing these sales of these services. So actually, this depends on a lot of factors.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go to the other one. We have like two more questions left, and then I think we saw ahead of time already, so we can finalize our today's session then. So let's go to Lena's question. She's asking that most tax automation companies are hiding fees, and we only discover them after we have done a demo. We tried with Avalara and Stripe tax. After with the demos, it was still unclear. Can you please be upfront and share if you have transaction fees or something? We don't want to waste anyone's time. What is exactly is a register jurisdiction on the pricing page?
Yes, maybe I will take this one. Thank you, Lena. Look, this is a question that comes up again and again and again because Quaderno has a different, really transparent model, and we just have a price per month based on the number of transactions that you process with Quaderno and the number of registered jurisdictions you have. So if you're registered in your home country and in a couple more US states, for example, and you're making 1,000 sales per month, you can easily see where you fit, and that's the monthly price you pay. You can upgrade it and downgrade it every month if your business changes, and that's it, right? So there is no setup fee, there is no installation fee, there is no extra maintenance fee or support fee. We are really very transparent, and what you see is what you get, or our pricing is on the website, and we even have a secret, more detailed one on our support center. So yeah, I know it's too good to believe, but that's it. And since we are here, let me also reply one question I get a lot. What is the difference between a jurisdiction and a registered jurisdiction, right? Because if you see the pricing page, people often ask me, oh, but I sell to so many jurisdictions worldwide. Do I need to go to the high plan? And then, no, we need to distinguish. You are selling to many jurisdictions, but you only acquire the obligation to register and then register in some of them. So as Ruta has explained many times in the call, if you are selling to states where there is a very generous threshold, very often you won't reach it. So that's a jurisdiction where you sell, but you don't have to register. So that wouldn't count pricing wise, right? So you can also look at it using the word registrations, how many registrations you have, how many tax IDs you have. That's what it means. Hope that clears the question.
Perfect. So thank you, Diana, for your answer. And there is two more left. So let's go to the question of Christopher. He's asking, how many different VAT service provider companies do I need to help me stay VAT compliant? If any business is based in Europe, but I sell in diverse regions like USA, Asia, and Middle East, and I'm slowly expanding to other areas.
So, Christopher, so if you will connect with One Stop VT, One Stop VT covers all the regions globally in the world. So it means that you will have to have agreement only with One Stop VT, and to as our company is acting as a single point of contact. So what does it mean? So it means that you are coming to us and you're saying that, okay, I need this and that registration, or maybe you want for us to determine it for you in which region you have to be registered. And then we are dealing with that registration and with the VAT filing, calculations, and etc. So it means that it is possible to have only one provider in order to be compliant globally.
Perfect. So let's go to the last question of today. And there is from Brittany, and she's asking that I'm in the process of launching a marketplace and heard about using a white label tax engine to handle calculations for various sellers. I haven't looked much on your website, but is it something you do at Quaderno? Just getting a bit overwhelmed as we get more and more sellers.
I can imagine, Brittany. So yes, this is something we do at Quaderno. It came a little bit later than our main product, but we do have a product called Quaderno Connect. And Quaderno Connect will allow you to use our tax calculation engine in white label mode to be able to handle calculations on behalf of your sellers. We know a lot about the marketplace business. We have helped many marketplaces integrate tax calculations successfully with Quaderno Connect. Is really easy to get started, and we will be very happy to let you know a little bit more information. Maybe I will ask Ruta to comment a little bit as well, because marketplace taxation is not so easy, right? Especially when you're starting. So I'm sure she can share some tips on that.
Yes, well, currently, yes, actually, the question about the marketplace and the liabilities for marketplace, maybe you already have found out or have done any analysis. So currently, in a lot of countries in the world, marketplaces are the ones who are obliged to collect taxes and to remit them to the proper country on behalf of the original seller. So in this situation, of course, I'm not sure about which countries we are talking about what type of marketplace we are talking about, but just for you, just letting you know that you can double check if you need to find a solution for your clients, or maybe you need a solution for yourself as a marketplace, as it might be that not the companies that are doing sales via your marketplace have tax obligations, but maybe you as a marketplace have these obligations. So this is just like FYI message.
Okay, thank you, Ruth and Diana, for all the questions. I see there is a lot in the chat, and some of you already managed to answer. But yeah, that's all I want to say, that like if some questions they're not gonna be answered, we will answer for you from Quaderno side or from One Stop VT after the webinar. We will make sure that all your questions are answered. If you have something more to ask or something, you always can contact us on like onestopvt.com or quaderno.io. And yeah, I think that's it of the time. We are ready to pass 20 minutes today, what we have for today. So again, a big thank you for Ruta and Diana for sharing your expertise, and of course for all of you of joining us and bringing such a thoughtful questions. It was really, really nice discussion. So we hope today's session gave you a bit more clarity and the confidence in handling this sales tax for your business. And yeah, of course, keep an eye for future sessions like this. And remember, you can always reach out to us if anything else comes up. So again, thank you everybody. Have a nice day. And yeah, see you soon.